All right, by my clock, it is 9 o'clock, and I'm going to go ahead and get started on time. So, good morning and good afternoon to those of you who are on the East Coast, and welcome to our Office 365 call for December with Audiocodes OneBox 365. And just going to talk through our agenda today. And first, just a brief welcome from our team and just ways to be able to stay connected with the community. And, we've been doing these monthly themes if you've been joining us every month. And this month's theme is around enterprise voice for Office 365. We have Rand Inbar and Alan Percy here with us from Audiocodes to get a better understanding of how the Audiocodes OneBox solution adds enterprise voice capability for Office 365. And what we're going to do is we're going to they have a pretty packed set of content today to share with us, but we're going to try to leave some time for Q&A, and so as the presentation goes on, you're free to type in the IM window, and we'll try to be able to knock those down as we go through the call, and hopefully we'll have some time in the end as well. This represents the Office 365 members of the team. We're the National Partner Technology Strategists, part of U.S. Channel Development, and we're your hosts for the call today. And I'm Michael Panzaroli. I'm over there on the right. And so here's some ways to be able to join our community that is focused on Office 365. You see some vanity URLs there, and you'll find information on building your Office 365 cloud practice and other useful information on the service, training, and other resources. You can go ahead and sign up for our newsletter that comes out once a month. And I highly encourage you to sign up on our Yammer group as well. There's a Office 365 group that's part of the larger Yammer network there for our U.S. partners. And then there's also the U.S. partner community blog. Just a note about these calls as well. Infopedia media platform, and so you'll be able to sign up for all the sessions and have that on your calendar, and you won't have to do that every month if that's been a pain for you. And so when that's available, you'll see that we'll post an announcement up on that same Yammer network that we talked about. So we're communicating across all these channels with our Office Monthly themes. This month is on enterprise voice, and Rabin has some posts there on the blog around our theme where he gives a lot of great background and options for enterprise voice and what that means for partners. Next month's theme is going to be around security and compliance in Office 365, and we welcome your feedback on suggestions on these and other topics. And like I always say, this is your community, so we really encourage you to stay connected and participate. Okay, well, it's time to introduce our guest today, and with the growth of Office 365, especially around our E4 SKU, we wanted to share a great option from one of our partners, Audiocodes. Audiocodes, as you may know from their link-certified phones and SBCs, recently announced OneBox. It's an appliance that enables customers to have enterprise voice functionality. They just completed a roadshow last month, and it was very well attended and gotten some great feedback, and we thought it was a great idea to share this opportunity with you today. So I'd like to turn the floor over to Rand so he can give you more details on how you might add this solution to your offerings. Rand?
Hi, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear just fine.
Oh, great. So good morning, everybody. So the next slide deck will present what we call OneBox 365 and what we actually came to offer or to solve, and which market we are addressing with this new solution. I would say I actually use it as the word appliance or solution, and we also will give some hints on what's actually coming in very short around the corner with this appliance. So some short introduction. My name is Ran Inbar. I'm with Audiocodes starting 2000. My role is the CTO of Unified Management Communication inside Audiocodes. Audiocodes has separate business line dedicated to the Microsoft Unified Communication market. and I'm part of that business line. I'm actually living in Tel Aviv in Israel. Did some product management roles last few years in Audiocodes and focus totally now on the OneBox 365 with Audiocodes.
Hey, Brian, I think you've got to click on Take Over as Presenter.
I do?
Yeah, just go click the Take Over Presenter, and this way you can advance the slides.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Same mistake all the time. That's why I know about it.
Do you see it now?
Yep, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, sorry. So that was my introduction slide. Okay. So as I said, we're going to give a quick overview on the Office 365 appliance, some technical overview, deployment option that we see today in the market, and what it's planned to do with can be done with a box and be deployed. Management tool that we actually providing with the OneBox actually going to offer it in the future. Services installation, a support model, and some training. So Audiocodes, we start with Microsoft. We started to work with Microsoft a long time ago, starting the LCS, OCS time, and back then, we actually delivered SBA, SBCs, gateway, analog device, and so on. And then we start to see, we can actually deliver much more and can complete and actually offer a complete solution, because Link is basically a nice platform for vendors like us. So we eventually, we start to add voice quality monitoring application, Link phone. We actually qualified our Link phone with Link 2013 and 10. We actually provide all kind of migration tools around Link, where on-prem customer are using that to migrate the existing PBX infrastructure to Link, allowing campus depth mobility support, voice application like auto attendant IVR, usually hosted on the SBA for having IVR auto attendant on the SBA itself for remote branch. Call recording solution, our SmartUp recording is, I think it was the first one which were qualified with Link. And around that, professional services for design, delivery, managed spares, and so on, and management application. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? Oh, okay, something happened. So what's OneBox is all about? The OneBox, when we designed the OneBox, we came and we understood that Link to deploy a Link on the SMB market, it's either very expensive, it's not affordable, or it's too hard for people who don't have good skills of ITs, and it's taking sometimes a lot of time. So the first target or the objective were to simplify the Link installation, try to use appliance-based, which might come with a already pre-configured, and also will simplify the entire, especially the user management, when you want to add user, give him all kind of policy and so on. So it will be very easy. So it can fit to this market. So we build that appliance, and basically what that appliance has. The first appliance, what we call OneBox 365, the basic one, it's actually the maximum capacity is 200 users. 200 Link users that can do everything that Link can do. It's a standalone appliance built on top of our Median 800B gateways, and next few slides will show what it is. Inside, we have already pre-installed Link server, a standard edition, front-end, including front-end, the mediation, monitoring, domain controller, edge server, archiving, Office web apps, and it's also including the Windows Server and the SQL Server already as part of the OEM, line. And again, since Audiocodes is a very good partner in the OEM business line of Microsoft. We're using that for the SBAs and other products. So we use it as also on the OneBox. Actually, allow us to minimize or reduce the cost of the entire appliance. The appliance come with different TDM configuration. It comes built in with other 2E1s or 8BRI, FXO, FXS, different customer, different connectivity, and also including inside an SBC. Here it says 250 sessions. If you enable the SRTP or the security portion, it will come up to 180 sessions, which is much more than you need for 200 users. Okay. What's coming? Very quick view. What's coming next? So we are actually going on January timeframe. We're going to release another two flavor of the OneBox. One we call OneBox Pro Edition, and the second one called OneBox Enterprise Edition. The main difference that the Pro Edition will have, we can support up to the 500 user space, and the Enterprise Edition will support up to the Pro Edition will support up to the 500, and the Enterprise Edition will support up to 5,000 users. We also, including on those, building a reverse proxy and our SBC session body controller, and some other additional virtual machine, which we see now that the customer or integrator would like to run on it their own application, like recording or fax servers and other application. Basically, obviously, we bundle it with our link qualified phone. We are not restricting to connect any phone. So any phone that is being qualified by the 3PIP team or by Microsoft can connect with the OneBox. However, obviously, when we sell it combined with our phone, the value here is, the financial offering is much better. And I will show in the next few slides a couple of examples of a price tagging for a complete solution. On top of that, we actually allow additional services. So as I said, the OneBox combined, it's a link appliance, the endpoint device, it's Audiocodes, so it's the same vendor. We're giving installation services and monitoring service and on-prem and remote installation and support. Everything combined from Audiocodes. There are a couple of scenarios where basically the OneBox can be installed. The first example, it's one of the most popular one, is a single site deployment, and last 2 quarters we are deploying a lot of that. It's a single site deployment. Other use as a single site, a small branch which like to use a link. It's either connect with their on-prem AD or the Exchange server and using Car Plus or a license, or can also already using the E4 license from Office 365, and obviously federate with Exchange Online, SharePoint, and all the Office 365 application. Another scenario will be, as a pilot for Link for POC. A lot of our partners, we heard that if you want to deploy or you want to demo Link for a customer, it take time to deploy. Yes, it's taking a lot of time to deploy Link. They actually bought it and using that just to come to the office of the customer, and going in and going out after half a day. You have full Link deployed already. When user can actually register their Link client and start making calls. I think the first slogan we used is, Link will be up and running before the second cup of coffee will be. You will complete your second cup of coffee. And we introduced it a few times. I was involved in a test in one of the service providers in Europe, and after half a day, the OneBox was up and running, connected to the SIP trunk, and user already making calls, having IM, everything. So Link was very easily brought up and deployed. That's a good also tool for a demo. Question: are we doing NFRs? Yes, we have NFR offer, which combine the appliance and the application price. with a heavy discount, so you can use it as an NFR. I think Ellen already said it. Branch pool appliance, it's a kind of deployment which actually people come and they getting enhanced SBA. So you can do that and break the traditional way that the OneBox has been shipped as a resource forest, and you can actually join the OneBox to existing link deployment and put it on a branch. And what's that give you versus an SBA, where when the one goes down, SBA give obviously telephony basic telephony services, but the customer or the users in the branch doesn't have IM, no presence, no conferencing or video conferencing. Using the SBA using the OneBox inside in the branch instead of SBA, even if the one goes down, the user still can enjoy IM, presence, local conferencing, local video conferencing. It's also allow to play or to normalize the load balancing inside the corporate network, where sometimes people are coming from APAC into the front end in somewhere else. So we actually can pull all those people to the pool in APAC, and this pool will be based on the OneBox. So it's also used in that deployment. A pool pair scenario, you can actually take two OneBox and actually either put them on a single site or on two sites and pull them together to getting a site resiliency. And basically, as I said, normal enterprise deployment with SBAs and so on. What's the benefit? I mean, it's obviously it's a full UC voice features which come inside built-in, because on the end of the day, it's a regular link. Obviously, on top of that, we added a lot of I would say a management layer, which has underneath the hood all kind of PowerShell script and so on, and some ability to configure the user very easily and give them more PSTN, more telephony services easily. But the engine is still Link, so all what you have in Link you will have here. It's a fast deployment, very easy, and again, everything can come from a single vendor. You're going to somebody else, a single one, it's the same support, and we can actually, if we offer to you, or we offer a on-site implementation or remote implementation, we can actually go and then do the full installation. That's a good example. Let me just, I will try to read afterwards the question. So that's a good example of a price tagging. So I used to use the MSRP pricing, and we took example of a user which saw a site with 100 users, including the OneBox with a single E1 and forward fixes. Usually the forward fixes will be used for fax machine or for analog device. 100 users are the application users, which are being licensed. We added 90 qualified phone, our low-end phone, and then 10 executive phone. I added remote installation service and 9x5 support for 1 year. Total cost actually came out to $37,000. It's an MSRP. And there's another option to go and do it a monthly fee using the Microsoft payment solution. And actually, basically, I mean, you're getting the Link server license via the LAR, and it's coming up to $15 per user per month for each one of the users. So there are a couple of options to do that. So basically, as I said, I mean, it's the OneBox has a system administration interface. It's HTML based. You actually from that interface you configure the system, you manage the users, give the policy to the users, and so on. By default, the OneBox, the basic one, shipped as a resource forest topology with with existing domain controller. Okay, and that's important because sometimes when you're doing a POC, customer doesn't want to to mess around with their own domain controller and adding schemes and so on. So we developed what we call an AD connector, which is actually allow to put the OneBox in the customer's network, creating a bidirectional trusted connection with his local AD, and basically synchronize the users. And all the link schemes are sitting inside the OneBox domain controller, so we're not touching the customer domain controller. and you can actually manage all the users from the OneBox. And again, it's integrated with an SBC and a gateway. This is how the box looks like. Because the formatting is actually looking a little bit squeezed, but it's a less than 19-inch box. It's a 1U. It's based on our Mediant 800 MSBR. You can see that the 800 has option of being in a router as well, because we're also selling the Mediant 800 as a complete router for the SMB, but currently the OneBox themselves are not coming with the router functionality. So it's coming. You can see it on the front. You have all the LAN port, and on the black ports are the different TDM configuration based on what you have ordered it with. And if you shift it to the web side, you will see basically the connection to the server inside, the VGA, USB, and then another additional two Ethernet port, which are used for the edge server. Obviously, the edge server need to have a port separation, and the edge is sitting on a separate VM, and that's the edge server connection. This table actually show, compare, which telephony features or enterprise voice feature a user which actually is on E4, but he actually is roaming or registered to our OneBox, versus a link online user. And obviously you can see that an online user today doesn't have all those features or the PSTN or enterprise voice features. If he actually roaming and actually register now to the OneBox, he's getting all those enterprise voice features. Sorry. So what is I hope this animation will work, but what's the one I try to simplify what we have done here. So if you're looking on a very high level description of how link installation or deployment will look like, you see the edge, you see the proxy, you see the reverse proxy, you see the front end, back end, SQL server, all the mediation gateways, all those components. And what we have done, we squeeze them, all of them, to a single appliance, and that's all. It's including the SBC or the gateway, and customers like it very much. Question: is the box available with redundant power supply? So this box doesn't come with redundant power supply. It's up to 200 users. Usually it's deployed in a pool pairing scenario. The two large one, the flavor that we spoke about, the Pro and the Enterprise, they are coming with dual power supply and also with either 2 or 4 hard drive for RAID options. The small one doesn't come with dual power supply. The reverse proxy, so as you can see, obviously somebody noticed that the reverse proxy stayed out. From our experience until today, most of the customer had their own reverse proxy inside when deployed. When they moved to Office 365, or they had the reverse proxy. What actually we are doing, and as I said, the Pro Edition and the Enterprise Edition are already coming with a reverse proxy built-in. This one, we're going to add a reverse proxy in the next months or two, which will be inside again by default inside small box as well. So if I can describe a different model for LinkedIn to be deployed, obviously we can. There are 3 major models. One is the link online. We're speaking about the link server, and then there is the hybrid deployment, which actually combine the two of them. I will try to go over can this serve as a redundant appliance for those users that have concern about using link. Yes, I think you spoke about migration. Yes, obviously that can be, and we have a couple of deployments where people are doing coexisting. So they have, for example, they have a VIPBX and they're coming with their link, and we can actually create, because Audiocodes we developed for a long time, or for a long time ago, what we call migration tools for coexisting and migration, using AD lookup, using a forking, called forking, and so on. So we have already deployment where this box sitting near Avaya or Old Nortel or Cisco Call Manager, and the call is basically it's a coexisting scenario where both systems will ring, and you can make call between them and so on. So yes, that can be used. That will not allow access to internal LAN for edge connection. So what we are doing here, I mean, I'm aware of only two customers like that. So currently, if you saw the model, the edge, by default, the OneBox comes with a single leg in the DMZ, and the internal legs go and connect it from his VM to inside the OneBox. We have customers that actually concerned about that, and what we have done, if you saw there are two ports, there is an option to break the internal connection and take even the second box, the second port, sorry, through the customer firewall, so he can actually enforce more security. So this is how very simple deployment looks like. We'll put the OneBox at the customer side. They will actually will have a fast connection with local AD, and then all the users are link users, which actually got the E4 will then roam and register to our OneBox, and obviously all the other applications and services will come from Office 365, if it's Exchange and other application, and obviously presence and all the services will be shared between Exchange Online and the Link on-prem. There is another model, since the OneBox contain already inside the domain controller. So we have a couple of installations where people already don't have a local AD from different reason, and they're using even the AD. So the OneBox is synchronized using ADSF with the Office 65, and the customer sometimes even using the local AD for additional capability inside his Office. But the OneBox is actually natively synchronized with Office 65. We are coming now with, in 2 weeks, we're coming with a new add-on to the OneBox. We call it Office 365 Connector. Very similar to what will come in what Microsoft call it Hybrid Wizard. However, our Office 65 connector will allow the OneBox admin to connect to his Office 65 account through the OneBox and pick up selected user and pull them back to the OneBox. And it's easily, but now it's actually simplify POC deployment. You don't have to now, if in a link hybrid scenario, currently you need to migrate all the user back to on-prem and then do a link hybrid. That's connector. We actually will simplify the entire process. A multi-site scenario, again, we have a couple of that, where people installing the OneBox at the headquarters, as I presented before, and then they have a small site which needs resilience. So one option is to put an SBA in this very small site, and the SBA will basically join the OneBox, because as I said, on the end of the day, it's a regular link. That will be one option, and we have customers that either took this direction or took the pool pairing option. We have customers that did the pool pairing. Both the post device are sitting in the headquarters while we have an SBA on the branch. Okay, this is what we call a branch pool appliance, where we can actually install the OneBox, add a branch, install of an SBA, and even having two branch and having pooled, pair-pooled for site resiliency. Okay. Again, one of the advantages, another advantage where I see people, the reason people are using that is because on Link 2013, if you have an SBA, when you have data center resiliency working, if the main data DC is going down and the second DC is going up, it's coming up, the SBA is not roaming from one data center to the other one. So SBA users are still stuck on emergency mode. The OneBox in this case actually will solve that and will allow even UC experience or functionality even when the DCs are switching. Okay, very short. Actually, it's present side by side the difference between an SBA or branch pool appliance, a comparison of the functionality between both of them. No, BPA it's not a Microsoft term. It's just an Audiocodes term. We made it. We came with this acronym. This is basically. So you won't think I'm actually just trying to sell you air and water. So that's example. It's a real customer from Europe where they deployed full pool pairing in 2 different sites, and they did migration from the old Nortel. I think it's Nortel PBX, and it's working very nicely. By the way, this customer already had another 2 sites in another country in Europe, with another pool pair scenario, and we basically getting more order from that direction as well. So that's a real deployment we have done just last quarter, and we have a couple of those worldwide as well. As I said, the OneBox itself comes with a very easy to handle interface, admin interface, which allow you to import the users from the AD, to do bulk editing, to edit, to give different policies to the users in a simple click. I can manage the user, I can create user, I can actually grant different credential, different capability to the users, and that's all. So how many people, how many production installation do we have until currently? I didn't count, but I just was looking recently. So the last 2 quarters we sold few, I think it was more than 180 units, and mostly they're deployed or they are installed as a POC at the customer site. We had a very good. We have actually running. We had 2 testing running a service provider went very successfully. Some of them already started deployed, and we have other service provider which actually already in process of validation and qualification. We have in the US and we have worldwide. I'm speaking on both of them. Okay, so management tool. So as I said, I mean we have Audiocodes actually built a full what we call OVOC. It's one voice operation center, which actually helping the customer to fully monitor and manage our device inside Link. So we created what we call Audiocodes EMS for phone. So element management system to provision the phone, to set it up, to build a phone profile based on location. Can do bulk change for language. For example, all my phone in China will move to China, and so on. So if I have an envelope phone, I'm happy to monitor the health of the phone, set the phone in template way, per users, per location, per whatever I like, and that's one of the tools. The same tool is actually helping us to manage the gateways and the SBC remotely. And then we have, on top of that, what we call Session Experience Manager for Link, which actually using also the information coming out of our SBC and gateways, also the information which we are reading from the monitoring server, which sitting inside the OneBox, and basically we're giving full analyze and root cause analysis for the user experience, and that can be used can be served either as a monitoring server to customer, because I don't expect that small customers will start to use it, because the target is people who doesn't have good skills or IT, or doesn't have IT at all. The target is very likely to a large integrator or service provider who can use those tools to give management monitoring services to his customer. Although the OneBox itself comes by default with the reporting server and the monitoring server, so the OneBox dashboard show you all the reports, and you can generate locally and see the user adaptation rate and different reports. Some training and documents. So our website for customers who actually are registered and having the login. Our website has all the documentation which you need: a deployment guide, admin guide, quick start, some technical note. There are a couple of examples here, but there are other. I think recently we added the how to pair the OneBox with Office 365 services. So the different documentation is available, and then obviously we give. We actually start this quarter to give online training and on-site training, but mainly online training to our partners. So we have a virtual machine. We have a OneBox virtuals in a virtual server in the cloud, and we have even in the hands-on for online training. So people actually after the theoretical session, they can go to their virtual machine and configure it and learn getting full trained on the OneBox. And on top of that, we actually offering for partners and resellers. We actually offer full services, installation, implementation, to be remote implementation, and you can see what's included, and also on-site implementation, which is another options. So there's a specification what's included, what's not, and until today, in most of the installation we have done, we have professional services involved, helping our partners to deploy it and deliver it and install it, even having managed spares options and other services. This is the on-site implementation. We can actually have resident engineer at the customer side, helping to integrate and having the full link installation, including setting up response group, setting up the phone, setting everything up based on the offering. That's the offer. The installing phone is not part of the basic package, but the offering can include setting the phone, setting the client, even having a trainer on site to help the user or the customer employee to go and increase the education curve toward Link. Support model. So I think it's very simple. We have a tier 1. We usually done by the reseller, or if it's our reseller or the Office 365 reseller, then we will take tier 2 and 4. And through the Audiocodes and Microsoft certified support partner. I think that's the end of the slide, and let's actually leave some room for question.
Boys, we got some doozies for you, Ron.
Sorry?
We got some doozies for you. You ready?
Yep.
All right. So Ben, by the way, you win best stumper of the conference call. So Ben's got a good question here. So I don't know, Ben, if you want to jump in and go live with audio, can we unmute him so he can ask the question live, or do you want me to read it out loud? All right, so Ben was asking about mostly about branch office deployment. So first, let's just start with, we can envision, let's say a retail outlet, a number of different facilities. Does every facility need to have its own separate OneBox? And of course, I responded to him, no. They can pool together in a group, and then the question sort of comes then into licensing. How would branch offices do licensing if they were sharing a single OneBox system, let's say for a regional set of retail stores?
So if you really want to deploy the OneBox in each one of your branches, basically you need to pay a separate link server license. Other it can come from the service provider. And I'd say one each front end server per OneBox. That's the cost of it's expensive. Again, that's the reason people like to use SBA instead of one box. But there are a couple of, I met already a couple of customers who prefer to pay this fee because what they're gaining from having almost complete full link pool installed in the site is much more important to them. So, but yes, you have to pay complete server.
So you have to pay a link server license for each essentially every box, every physical box at this point, right?
So I have a question about the Audiocodes license. So currently, the first 25 users are actually called activation users, and then there are packages of 25. And the first one are more expensive. We're going to change this model in our next price book. So basically, you can actually have each one of our one box flavors. There is an activation fee of the server of the appliance, sorry, and then you can actually buy even 5 users or 10 users, whatever, and there are packages. So obviously, if you buy 1 user package, would be per user, you get much better price than buying 5 users, but you can take any user capacity you like. So it's actually we're going to change the structure of it, the price structure of that.
Yeah. So there's another sort of related question, which is about pooling license. So let's say there's multiple branch offices. Let's say 3 branch offices are sharing a single one-box device. And there's 5 seats at one, 10 at another, and 15 at another. Even though the seats are all at separate offices, they are still part of the same license pool because they're all sharing the same one box, correct?
Well, if they're all using the same one box, yeah, it's the same one box.
So it doesn't matter. The seats are scattered around. They're all sharing the same one box. So you use those seat licenses off that same box. And then the other question popped up is there anything special requirements for connectivity between those branch offices to allow them to share that single one box? And
no.
Of course, I responded with it's like any other, right?
Correct.
It's as hard as the business needs for survivability, but it just could be a regular WAN connection.
Correct. And also, by the way, for a pool pair scenario, I mean, a case customer having 2 sites and they have one site with 100 and one site with, let's say, with 150 users, you don't have to pay to buy license, the application license of the total cost, total capacity on both of the units. Since it's a pool pairing, you just buy what you need for each site. They actually, once you pull them together, we have a protocol which we actually we share the capacity on both of them. So if one box goes down and the users are roaming to the second box, he will take care of them. So you don't have to buy twice the package, the license. What we are going to come in the next year, it's a license pool manager for one box. So if in case you have, for example, you are deploying, you have a lot of small customers and you want to serve them, you can actually buy from Audiocodes a bank of, let's say, very similar to the SPLA deal. You can buy, let's say, 100K of users, and we submit it to you. And using the license manager, you can actually submit it to user based on the monthly, demands or whatever. So that's also something that we are coming.
Yep, and Ben's here.
Yeah. So my question is, let's say I've got a customer on the East Coast, customer on the West Coast, and they're under 25 users. Do I have to buy that activation? My question is if I activate one of my Audiocodes boxes with that 3,000 for the first 25 users, but I've only got 10 users at this site and I've got 15 at the other, does that licensing go across boxes, or have I got to license each one individually? So I've got to get that 3,000 or for that activation on box number 1 on the West Coast, then I need it on box number 2 on the East Coast.
If they are in pool pair?
Well, they'll be on separate networks in, whatever, like an SBC as an example.
But they are not connected in any case. So they are not doing pool pairing between them. They are just separate pools.
Well, they could be pulled together. I'm just wondering if, you can do that across different locations and so forth. I'm just wondering do we have to have those licensing? If we license the whole system for the number of users, but we have 2, 3, 4 boxes, do we have to keep licensing individual ones, or can those licenses we bought for the Audiocodes portion of it? I understand we have to license the Microsoft side, but the Audiocodes side, will that pool across all the boxes?
So, for example, if you're doing pool pairing, you don't have to pay activation for the second box. If you have couple of boxes, you said today, you have to you don't have today. You have to buy the license per box. Obviously, we can. There is a way to do it financially. Financially, as I said, we're coming with the license pool options, where we basically you can buy your license pool, and then you can actually dynamically share all the licenses between all your boxes, which are in the same you serving.
So, which is a long way of saying today, yes, if they don't use paired pool, they'd have to buy the 25 bundle for each site. But we're going to change that, and you can see why. Those are questions that popped up a handful of times, especially for large organizations, like you said, where they have 5 or 6 users per site. We have to change that. And in the interim, if there's an issue, we can work it through some kind of program. Okay.
Question: do we plan to sell it as on an OPEX model? Yes, there is a plan. It's not. We are still discussing it. We have a plan to offer the OneBox in an OPEX model, which the model will include obviously even the phone. So it's all combined, getting, let's say, 100 users, the phone itself, and you will pay. You pay it in an OPEX model. We are discussing that. We have to close the model. How to take the risk, if you're going, which company we're going to use for delivery, and so on. But there are discussions. They are really. We have a intention to release an operation or OPEX model in the future.
How does this compare to the next UC, which Office 365 Comparo was hosted wholly in the cloud? Only 4 licenses needed, no link server licenses, no media gateway. Do you have any reliability statistics? So probably that gets into the TCO discussion, right, Ron?
Right. You want to present that?
Yeah, sure. So I think most of you folks probably got a chance to hear the total cost of ownership program that Brent Kelly and Marty Parker did at the Link conference back in February. When we got closer to launching this particular product, we sat down with them and gave them our facts and figures on the cost of this from an implementation standpoint, also administrative costs, network infrastructure, et cetera, and they cranked through their numbers again, and they came up with some results that showed that the total cost of ownership of the OneBox 365 dramatically reduces the costs of implementing Link Voice, even lower than many of the hosted service providers were charging. And we've got separate slides on that, and we've actually got a webinar that we did with Brent and with Marty about a month and a half ago that we could share a link to listen to that webinar. Then they explain the methodology that they used and the results in great detail. So why don't we share that link? I'll go dig that up and I'll post it here in the IM window.
All right.
Any questions, I guess?
Anything else before we close out? Okay, well, with that, thank you, Ran, and also to Alan. Great attendance and a lot of interest and questions. And so we'll go ahead and close out the call, and please look for the invites for future calls on the Yammer network. The recording for this will be posted to that same Yammer network. At least the link will. We set up a little channel up on YouTube where you can download all the monthly calls. So when that's available, we'll post it to the Yammer group so you can get access to that. And if you're interested in the deck, it was kind of mentioned, but it is an attachment in this meeting. So if you're not familiar with that and with Link, which is kind of unlikely given the nature of this call, there's a little monitor down there in your tool set. And if you hover over that, you'll go to see attachments, and you can go ahead and download that. So we look, and the meeting will be open, so you can take your time downloading that. And look forward to seeing on next month's call, which we're going to move it. Usually we're the first Thursday. We're going to move it to the second Thursday, which will be January 8th, given the holidays. And with that, very happy holidays, and thank you again to all who attended. Take care.
Thanks, Michael, for hosting this.
You're welcome. Thank you.